because they scared. It's really what it comes down to. They scared. They don't want to mention
all of them, Devin, Ryan, and Tank.
All of them. They scared. Man, I know y'all scared and shit, but like, let's just make the fight happen for the fans. You know what I mean? And like, let's just do that. You know, whether I know, don't overprice yourselves. You know what I mean? If y'all believe y'all the best and y'all think that y'all could take this, and let's make the fight happen. Man, don't be pussy about it. And now it's all about, all right, let's make these fights happen. And the whole thing, really, you guys never have to worry about Teofimo making fights happen. You guys got to worry about the opposition side of it. And hopefully, you know, these guys could work with us. They don't and they don't overprice themselves. We're gonna whoop his. We're gonna make the fight happen. I try to save his career. I did. Kid you not. I try to protect his career. I told him, hey, 3 to 5 years, you know, work your way up. A lot of people are gonna take this wrong. I try to take care of this man's career, but now, you know, he's gotten out of hand, and it kind of got me. It got me going now. So we're gonna start pressing him on it. And me and my father already we're all good on it. We're on the same page. So I believe Devin Haney will be next.
What needs to happen to make this fight be confirmed?
He needs to take the fight. Whether he gets 2 million or 3 million, he needs to take the fight. Devin Haney, none of these guys.
But in terms of Devin, since you're talking about him and you're asking what...
It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. I'll be honest. It ain't going to happen.
Which is the fight that you want to happen at 35? Which one are you looking at?
Like I said, man, a lot of people can say whatever they want, but the dude actually fought his way to get his shot with me, and he has actually 2. So it is going to be Kambosos.
We are undefeated, you know what I mean, and truly undisputed when it comes down to this debate and shit. More importantly, talking about Devin Haney and his dominance as a lightweight, it's a testament to not only what everyone is saying, you know what I mean? You got a lot of people that, I mean, are saying great things about Devin. I appreciate their opinions. It's also people that are saying negative things. But one thing you cannot mistake is the respect that his peers have for him. And we talk about all the different athletes along the way, the Michael Jordans and Mike Tysons of the world. And you always got flack from fans who wanted more and more. They wanted to see adversity, see the champion go through adversity. And I think that's what people want to see in Devin. They want to see the adversity. In today's time, you know, champions, me included, I'm just as guilty of seeing the champions and me wanting to see them to be tested. We want to see them go through adversity. And these are the things that Devin will need, and to grow as a champion in front of everyone's eyes is those tests and that adversity. Will we get it out of Teofimo Lopez, or will we get it out of Ryan Garcia? Only time will tell. You know, as it stands right now, they show no interest in getting in the ring with him. We continue to campaign.
Now, Teofimo Lopez changed his mind again. Recently, he said he's going to fight Devin Haney next. However, now he's saying he won't fight Devin next. He said, why should I? I'm fighting Kambosos next. What's your thoughts on him retracting his statements?
Well, when arguably your biggest win of your career wasn't against a true lightweight who showed dominance against other lightweights. Lomachenko struggled with Linares. Linares sat him down. He struggled with Pedraza, and Campbell had moments with him. So you don't see a true king at 135 if the king is having that many problems. Then he ultimately loses, and everyone says, okay, well, he's a natural 130-pounder or 26-pounder or what have you. So for him to claim all that he's done to a smaller fighter in Lomachenko and then have an opportunity to fight another big lightweight and Devin Haney, I think it's ignorance. You know, I think it's blasphemy. I think it's all the things that you're not supposed to do as a champion or a stand-up dude. You know, he's not showing the character that pre-champion, before he became a champion, that he was going to be. He had set the tone, and he said, we're the new age, the new millennials of the fight game, and we're going to make it happen. And then he said that, okay, he's the franchise champion and undisputed, and by him being undisputed, he was supposed to make the biggest fights happen with the franchise belt. See, so now I know what the franchise belt represents. I know what the language is in the rule book, but now I have to call on the franchise champion and the WBC in the sense of how diligent are they about making the biggest fight happen, the biggest fights happen that they said they made the franchise designation for. It was meant for the champion to make the biggest fights happen. Now, is he making the biggest fights happen with this franchise belt? That's the question that we then ask the WBC. If it's not Devin Haney, does it warrant the fact that Kambosos and making a fight happen? Now, we've heard this stuff about 50 or 60,000 people in an arena. That's not going to happen in Australia, because one thing that Bob pointed out was that they're not even letting people in. It would be a big hurdle just to get his teams over there. So a bunch of fans going from New York, Las Vegas, and alike to see him next. What kind of honor is that showing the fans that have been rocking with you here in the U.S.? To then say, okay, well, now I'm going to go to Australia. It's about money. That's not consistent with the champion state of mind, the real champion state of mind that he portrayed pre-Lomachenko fight.
Tio did say that he's going to bring the old school back of the best versus the best. He also said, and he promised the fans, he's going to fight Devin next.
Lies catching up, walls closing in.
How did you choose Lomachenko? Because
I did not choose him. He requested, Canelo requested. So we sent out a vote and we analyzed his history.
Ooh, Canelo and Lomachenko requested?
Absolutely.
Ooh, you just made headlines.
Lomachenko,
You just made headlines.
Lomachenko, top rank, requested. And let me tell you, we analyzed the request. Top of the top.
Define the franchise belt. Can you define it?
The franchise is not a belt, it's not a championship, it's a designation given to elite, unique fighters who carry the industry of the sport of boxing. Canelo Alvarez and Lomachenko are two sensational fighters who carry the industry.
Ask Cameron Duncan, do Top Rank have like columns of fighters, and they say, we don't want this guy fighting the black fighter, we don't want this fighter fighting the Mexican fighter, and so on and so forth?
You got to get into the racial stuff, huh?
No, I'm not. I'm asking.
That's a theory there by the greatest matchmaker, probably, in my opinion, ever.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not going to mention his name either, but you know what I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
And he used to have a thing up on his board, NBF, no black fighters.
Uh-huh.
And when I was taught to bring up a fighter, you know, and again, it's just, he used to say to me, you can go anywhere in the country. And I'm going to leave it at this. I don't want to go into a long discussion because people are people in God's eyes, and we're all the same. He used to say to me, you can go anywhere into a city in America or anywhere in the world and ask a white guy, and he didn't say any other, he didn't say anything about Hispanic, anything. Ask a white guy to throw a jab, and half of them are going to turn backwards and throw it like a girl and everything. Ask any black man on a street corner in any city in the world, and they will snap out a jab in a heartbeat. And I used to laugh. He said, they're just more physically gifted. And he said, and so they have speed, and better to stay away from them. Nothing personal. So I said, okay. And I've lived by that. And, you know, I don't want to sound like some weird guy, but, you know, you're trying to be safe with your guys. And so, yeah, there is a thing about that, you know, but not in a bad way, in a very respectful way, you know, to be careful. So that's all.
The last man even said they doing that to protect them.
Right.
Somebody beat them, but they don't get a belt.
There you go.
The franchise belt is protect them from the big black guys.
So you would favor Devin Haney to beat Vasily Lomachenko?
And with the fighter, I'm only going to put him in a fight that I believe that he can win, right? So I don't know how to answer that question.
Did you say you would only put your fighter in a position in a fight where he can win?
Where I believe he could win. Yeah, I don't put a fighter in where he has no chance and he's just in there for a payday for me and him. I don't do that.
So is it more about how you...
I don't put a fight out. That, again, goes back to Leonard Ellaby. What he was trying to say. It's risk-reward.
Right. So if you were in a situation where you felt like, I'm going to just use hypotheticals, if you thought that Devin Haney was a bad matchup for Teofimo Lopez, in essence, you wouldn't make that fight because you didn't want to put Teofimo in a situation where you felt like he couldn't win. Is that what I'm hearing?
Only if, I mean, you sometimes make a fight because if let's say the fighter has a 40% chance of winning, so he's like, in your mind, an underdog. If the reward is great, you make that fight. It's risk-reward.